we're recording. All right, you know the drill. Housekeeping, chat window, if you want to make any chat comments as I'm going through. I did not do a workbook or worksheet for this workshop. This was kind of I'm going to run through some information. This is really to help you create awareness. It's also to help you realize, what am I doing that's not helping me? What am I doing that is helping me? What do I already have kind of locked in? Like, oh yeah, I'm doing that. That's great, right? And what am I maybe doing that I could be saving? We talk sometimes about saving energy. Can we really save energy? No, yes, no, kind of. Trick question. So tonight in disaster, what the hell did I call this? I'm just kidding. Disaster relief for empaths. I want to walk through, just because for the replay too, it might be some of our members that are not as familiar with what we go through every month in the Energy Lounge, different areas. So some of this, here's what I want to tell you, right? So notice what you notice as you're going through the workshop, as you're listening. If you get like a, oh, I like that, right? And it kind of opens you up like that. That's your intuition saying that that's something that would really work well for you. It'd be easy for you to implement. If you're listening and you're going, ooh, I have been doing that. All we want to do is create awareness. Once you create awareness around anything, now you take the power back to change it. Now you own that, right? You own that and you can make the difference. So there may be people popping on as we dive in, and if that's the case, that's great, because, you know, we always have few that were after the start, but I'm going to dive in anyway. Now, and if at any time you have questions or you want to comment on something, or you want to say, hey, I know that, like, that's good, right? This is all part of, you know, how we do things around here. It's not that you just have to sit and listen. It's better when you interact, share what you're noticing, what comes up for you. And, you know, if by the end you realize that there are a few things that, oh, these have kind of listed up for me. These are some primary areas for me to really focus on, but I don't know where to start with that. Then you can certainly reach out to me after. We can talk about some more private work, right? Okay, so why are we even doing this workshop? It came up for obvious reasons, I think, right? There were all these storms popping up. People were really scared. The news was focusing, showing houses, you know, up to their roof and like just awful things. Then fires, then the fires kicked in. Then there were posts about, oh my gosh, is this the way the world is going to be? And is this, you know, because I think people get sort of caught up in the momentum. They get caught up in the media. And as a sensitive, there were also a lot of people who had relatives, they had loved ones in those areas. So that was scary. So that is part of why this workshop started. But I think overall, we just need to be more empowered as a community about what we feel, how we feel it, how we experience life, and what you can do to stay in your own energy. I feel the number one, there's like a million things you can study in this world. And I really believe that the number one thing you should study the most is you. It's you, your energy, your thought. That means everything, right? Your energy body, your thoughts, your feelings, the people you enjoy being around, the things you love doing, how you feel in your body. There's so many different aspects to us. We're not one-sided, right? We have a lot of sides to us. So when things happen in life, and they will, we want to feel prepared. I want you to feel prepared, like, you know, I mean, Boy Scouts are always, like, they're always prepared. They always have, that's kind of their thing, right? I want you to feel like, no matter really what life brings me, I might not like it. It might be painful. It might make me sad. But I know how to move through it in the most effortless way that it's not damaging my energy. It's not, you know, cutting me up on the inside, right? It's not that where it's going to leave those scars. Because if we look at physical pain, you know, like those people who, this is very graphic, but people go through and they have a car accident and they come out and they're like, I don't know. I mean, I'm fine. Like, I don't have, I should have been, right? You can do that with your energy. You can really roll and tumble through life and really manage to stay in your strength and and bounce back quickly. You don't have, it doesn't have to, like, we don't have to go down with the ship when things happen. So the other reason why I do everything that I do is because the bigger vision is you're not just here to live. You're not just here to have a job or to, you know, do all of the things that are part of this earth school, right? Cleaning, cutting the lawn, cutting the grass, maybe, I don't know, doing your laundry, fill in the blank, pay the bills, do that thing, right? Even some of the fun things. Of course, we're here to do those too. But the bigger vision, I believe, is that, and I've yet to meet a sensitive who does not have some sort of personal vision for why they feel they're here. They may not know exactly what that looks like or how to put the pieces together, but they do, across the board, have a feeling that there is something bigger for them. There is something more than what they're experiencing currently in their life. They don't know how to get there, maybe they don't know what it looks like, but they know that it's there. It continues to pop up. Something continues, and it'll come up for you like a pattern. It will, make sure somebody's not lost there. It will come up for you throughout your life, right? It's almost like someone knocking on the door, and you're like, did I hear someone knock it, right? And you're not sure. So that bigger vision, if you're distracted by the awful events that happen in the world, whether by Mother Nature or, you know, I know like right now too, there's a lot with politics. And there's Eric's looking at me from outside. I don't know what he's doing. And there's a lot of things with politics and that, if we're all distracted, if we get sucked into all of that, then how are you going to put your energy together to stay empowered, to rise up and do your thing? And I don't know what your thing is. I mean, I usually know when I meet with a sensitive, like, wow, I really feel some stuff around here, or I'm getting a vision of this. And typically that will bring you to say, oh, yeah, that is what I love, or that is what I've been thinking about, but I don't know what to do with that, or, right? But if you're really always spending your time recovering from your energy because it sucks, because you feel low, your beliefs, you know, take you down, you're finding it hard to get up in the morning, right? That kind of thing, that's not what dreams are made of. It's not. And I'm here to help you. I don't care if you want to call it purpose, dreams, goal, fill in whatever it is for you. I want you to feel like that bigger life that you feel deep down inside, that you get that flash of, that you get pulled to, that continues to call you, that you have the strength and then you feel empowered to say, that's who I am. This is who I'm, you know, I'm here to be this person, right? I want you to be more of who you are meant to be. You actually get to define who you're meant to be. You know, we talk to, like, of course, like things predestined for you and the universe has a great plan for you and all that, but really you get to define who you are, because by accepting and saying yes to that, yes to more of that, that's how you expand. That's how you're then given more and more. If you decide this level is good for me, I like where I'm at, this is very fulfilling, I'm very happy, the universe would be just as happy for you, okay? But the more that you want to, like, I'm always saying, I'm ready for the next level. I will do what it takes, right? Because I have that big vision of reaching as many sensitives as possible and inviting you into this higher living space, okay? So that's really what it is. I don't want you spending your time on recovery, spending your time on, is it me? Is it my ego? I don't know. You know, the second guessing thing, all of those things really diminish you. They make your energy contract. And we're not here to be small. We're here to expand. It is our natural energy pattern is to flow and expand. I can promise you that that's true, because if you ever watch a little kid play, if you ever watch kids play, they go, right? And then normal, they sleep. They might nap, they sleep, right? They're just like, they're out, and then they go. And the only time a child kind of like stop is if they're sick, right? They're just like, I just had a mom the other day, and she was talking about her son, and she said, no, I know he was really sick because he was down for the count, right? So we joke about it in a way that kids don't stop moving unless they're ill. But we as adults, unfortunately, we stop moving. We sit like a pile of rocks in a chair, right? Feeling like we have a boulder on top of our shoulders. Like, man, I don't know what to do. I can't do this. I just can't. I have to take a break from life. Like, we just constantly are in this stop being resisting thing. That needs to stop. That's not fun. I don't know anyone in that mode that ever says, oh yeah, I love to feel like that. I just love to feel like I have no energy and it's just great. I'm just this big stump. No one feels like that, right? So our nature is to flow. Our nature is to move freely. So why don't we look at some things tonight that help you stay in that flow, help you expand and remove the things that are kinking your energy, remove the things that are creating these snags that slow you down, or maybe it is these heavy boat anchors you're dragging behind you, right? Like, 'cause sometimes it can feel like that. Okay, so just for a moment, give yourself, like, what is it that you would love to see for yourself? And I don't mean based on what you think is possible or where you're at right now. Okay, so I want you to remove and just kind of shove aside your current reality. Like, I'm gonna just pretend this is a blank slate. I get to pick anything, anywhere, any size, any color, anything that I want. And if that was the case, and you could have it, okay, because this is the way we stretch, okay? How do we set big, like huge, fun dreams and goals, and how do you create that vision for yourself? You cannot possibly create a huge, big, beautiful, wonderful, fulfilling vision for yourself based on where you're currently at. Because otherwise you're like, well, I don't have to do that. Everything's just exactly right. But we can always expand on that vision. It does not in any way take away from where you're at. So that's not what we're doing here. What we're saying is, what if there was more? What if there was more for you and it was possible? So I will let you know that you cannot possibly create a big vision for yourself unless it was possible. I'd say that a lot, but it would be super mean, kind of, right, of the universe to say, ooh, yeah, create that big vision, but you can't have it. Somebody else could have it, but not you. See, that's not true. So I want you to really, like, give some deep feeling to, I didn't say thought, that's where it'll pop in your mind, but I want you to give a deep feeling to, if I could have anything that I want, any way that I want it, and I can, what would that be? What would that look like? What would I be doing? Who would I spend time with? What kind of energy would I have? Right? How would I show up every day? How would I feel in my life? What kind of conversations would I be having? Who would I be spending time with? What kind of clothes would I wear? Where would I live? Where would I travel? Would I travel? What kind of car would I drive? So there's a lot of moving pieces and parts. And the cool thing is that, hi Pat, the cool thing is that for each and every one of you, what your vision looks like of what you want to see for your life, it's all so personal. There's no wrong way. The only thing that I ever say is, if you're like, well, that would be nice. I mean, I don't know if I could have that, go bigger. It's not about whether you can or cannot have it, when you'll have it. This is about what you want. If we're going to talk about why it's so important and ways that you can expand your energy and bring your awareness to the things that matter most for you, we got to know where you're going, because that's going to play a part in one of the things I talk about tonight. Right? You have to have a vision about what you really, really want for yourself. If we get caught up in this loop of what's out there, what's wrong with the world, oh, now this, those are huge distractions. They're going to pull you in. It's not always easy to just, and I'm not saying to turn your cheek on people suffering or, the pain in the world. What I am saying is you have to have your vision to come back to. If I didn't have my vision about what I'm doing for Sensitives Rising, if I didn't see the future for us and generations of sensitives to come, it would be really easy for me on some of these days to say, screw this, man, I'm tired. I don't have the energy. I don't even know where I'm going. What is the point of all this? Oh, forget it, right? And I've been there. Now, nothing, absolutely nothing pulls me, not permanently. I will never throw in the towel. I don't even know how. I wouldn't know how to walk away from this, because it feels so good to watch all of you. When you start, like, boom, the vision hits you, or you get that spark again, right? Where you've been in the dark for a while and all of a sudden you get that spark back and now you're sharing and you're posting with the group, or you're, hey, I'm trying this new thing, it's so exciting, or here's some pictures of my life, where before maybe that terrified you, but now you feel safe to step out and be yourself. You're creating more security for yourself. So you have to have that vision, because that's your home base. Okay, we talk about vision like it's out there, and we talk about a vision of where we're going. So sometimes it feels like it's down the road, but I want you to understand your vision is all on the inside. You have to create it on the inside before you ever get to see it on the outside, and it's going to become like your home base. If you don't have a home base, and the only thing that you really recognize is anxiety and how that's working against you, because we know in our community, we talk about anxiety as one of our friends, right? It's a signal. But if it feels like it's an enemy, or you feel like, I don't know how to deal with all that, I mean, you're not going to have the energy to work on your dream. It's going to feel like everything out there is bigger and stronger than you are, and that's all false. So whether you do it, here, I encourage you, spend some time with yourself, inside, quiet, alone. If it's in nature, if it's in your favorite spot, go to a coffee shop. Get clear about what you see for your life. Man, I want to hop to Colorado whenever I want. I want to go see my son. I want to, I want to go in and buy a car for my son. There's things that I want to do. Yes, some of it involves money and time, but really, I'm leaving my job come December 31st so that I can be here even more full-time for all of you. That's taking some energy, let me tell you. And I work out every day. I eat 5 times a day. I'm making sure I get my protein right. There's some factors that are playing into this because my vision is clear. We need to rise. It is our time to rise. It is your time to step into the life that you wish for. I do not want you to wish forever, okay? I want you to live the life. I don't want you to just think about it. We're not creating a vision just because, it's catchy and it's fun. I want you to live the life that you're creating in your heart and in your mind. That's why we have to have that vision as a home base. Hi, Jan. So getting really clear about the life that you really want and who you are, as in your definition, right? Who you're meant to be, who you actually need to be. I need to be a very different person to work a full-time job, run a full-time business, do all the things, become a leader, take this community to the place that I see it, than I was maybe just working a full-time job and coaching a client here or there, right? I have to show up really different. I mean, it's more of me, but different than I was showing up, and the results are a reflection of that. It's the same for you. So we can't getting caught up in that stuff out there. And here's the other part, man. Sensitives, our heart chakras are so strong. Sometimes we think they're not because we've been told we're too sensitive or too emotional and all that. We want to change the world. We want to take away the pain. We want to stop the suffering. We don't want people to be starving. We don't want the forests to burn. There's all of this. You can't do that. You cannot make a big impact in this world if you're empty, if you're wiped out, if you're distracted by the things we're going to talk about tonight. You can't do it. It's not possible because you're caught up in this loop of, it might be woe is me, it might be here I go again, it might be I feel like shit. I don't know, right? This loop of whatever it is. And just making sure somebody's not stuck there. And if that's the case, how are you possibly going to expand your energy so big to go make your difference in the world? And I don't mean that every one of you, whether you're here live or watching the recording, that you have to go out and start a business or you have to go out and heal the world. But I just know that by nature, we are the beings on the planet that want animals to be okay, that want the people to be okay, that want the controversy to we're the ones that bring compassion. But if you feel wiped out, tanked, all those things I said, go to bed, pull the covers over your head. That's about where you feel, right? So I want you to, whatever that looks like for you, to be able to step into that and say, yeah, this is my life. I'm doing what I came here to do. This is who I am. I love who I am. I feel fulfilled. And I'll tell you that if you're getting called by your purpose, your passion, and you're ignoring it, You are going to be tired. You're going to feel heavy. You're going to feel stuck, and you're going to feel really off. When you start stepping into that, it's liberating. You will start to go, oh my God, I've never felt like this before. This is so amazing. And it's really hard for you to go back and be small. So I'm encouraging you to step forward, step out, expand, do this thing, right? And you're not in this alone. That's why this community exists, because Sensitives Rising. I mean, it says it all, right? All right. So with that, you'll think about, give some thought to your vision. Now, I am really glad you're here, whether it's live or it's watching the recording, because it shows you're showing yourself that this matters, right? You're showing yourself, like, I want to learn more. I want to be better at who I am. You're also going to take the pressure off, because whatever it is you're feeling, wherever you are on your path, it's all normal. As sensitives, we're sometimes taught that the way we are is not normal. I don't even know what the hell normal is anymore, because I kind of redefined it. I encourage you to do the same. But what is normal? You know, if someone has purple hair, is that not normal? It's their normal. They like it. If someone has a unicorn sitting on their desk, is that not normal? I don't know. Right? So redefine what normal is. The point is, wherever you're at on your path, whether you're just learning, wow, I just stumbled across this thing called Empath. I stumbled across this blog that said highly sensitive person, and it rang like I had every one of them. Or it's been years and you've been studying it and you know a lot about it, but you want to still be better at it. It doesn't matter, because you're right where you're supposed to be. You're right in your learning curve. You understand? And so it's all normal. It's all normal, right? Yeah, Kathy says, high energy all the time. That's first. Pat says, I've been expanding in my gifts and my dream, but I have been beat lately and I don't know why. I did start back to work again. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a big adjustment. I thought that when I stopped working at the office and worked from home all the time, because now I work remote 100% of the time, I thought I would have tons of, and it was still an adjustment. So definitely, Pat, or any of you, when things change up a little bit, you change your routine, you change your pattern, definitely give yourself some settling time until you get used to it again, right? That's what, it's kind of like you're getting your footing again, right? You gotta, because look at the difference. There's no driving when you work or when you're at home, right? So you're not out and so now you're driving to an office with all kinds of busy people who are either stressed, running late, going to a job they hate. I don't know, lots of energy out there, right? So you're going in that, and then, and you're driving, you gotta focus more. And then all of a sudden you're at a desk and you're doing this all day where your focus is different. It's different, right? You're definitely, I'm not here to say it by the way that we're never going to be affected by the energy around us, or we have a physical reaction, like your physiology changes to certain things. But where we put our focus and how we understand what's happening, see, creating that awareness of, this makes sense. I went from being home, recovering from an injury, and now I'm getting back into the scheduled, timed routine, right, where all my activities are changing. That would make sense that, you know, so maybe I need to rest up, go to bed a little earlier, drink more, whatever, right? We start, so you kind of adjust. As long as you're aware that it's going on, those words in your paragraph, so not to pick on you, right? But they're in here. Those words that I don't know why, are really set us up to feel like, why am I like this? What's wrong? What's going on? So if you catch yourself saying, I don't know why, but bring it back and say, well, you know, I feel the way I feel. And so my body's just telling me that I'm a little more run down. I have been a little busier. My schedule just changed again. That would make sense, right? Put yourself back in the power. Put yourself back in the knowing. You always know. If you take a moment and you step back and you tell yourself, you know, and I might feel like I don't know, but I know, because I can look at this and I can look at examples. But when we take that ownership back, that's when you step back inside. right? So it's not out there. You can assess things from out there. If it's middle of winter and I step outside with no winter coat on, I'm going to be affected by the weather, right? I'm not. And so if I prepare though, I go, oh, I see it's cold outside. I put my coat on, I go outside, I stay warm. If I go outside without a coat on and I'm standing out there going, I don't know, I'm just freezing. I just can't figure this out. I was just warm a minute ago, right? I'm obviously being very comical. I don't know why I'm so cold. Instead of, obviously I'm cold, I stepped outside without preparing, I don't have a coat on, right? So that feels powerful versus powerless. Silly examples, but you know, they work. Okay, so tonight we're going to go through what to stop doing that keeps you feeling weak. Notice I didn't say keeps you weak, keeps you feeling weak. Yes, I do lots of play on words because they count and they matter. What to do when your ego takes over. We're going to talk about how to function without needing a total energy overhaul, right? So what plays into that and what can take you into that danger zone, right? We want to avoid that. I think that's Betty, but I'm not sure. Maybe. Sometimes it's Betty when there's just a phone number. Or Kat, maybe it's Kat. I don't know. Hi, whoever joined, we'll put it that way. We're gonna talk about, did I already say what to do when your ego takes over, and also why storms, tragedy, are not necessarily responsible for your energy. It sort of has something to do with what I just touched on.
There's people downstairs.
Let's see, mindset, and then we're going to get into energy practices, things you can do every day, okay? And, you know, keep in mind that, again, as you're listening, notice what you notice. As you're listening and there's things that you think, oh, that's me, I do that, right? Then you can take a note because now you have awareness, you bring presence to it, now you have the power to change it. If you don't know what you don't know, I was giving the example today that my son in Colorado, he goes door to door and he asks people if they'd like a roof inspection, and it's free, and he goes up and he takes a video of their roofs and their gutters and comes down and he gives them the report and he walks them through the video and they go, oh my God, I didn't know that. I didn't know that that was leaking up there. I didn't know that we had hail damage. I didn't know that we had mold, whatever, right? They think everything's fine because the house seems fine. They're busy, they're going about their life, but now he did an inspection. That's what I do, right? I do an energy inspection. And so when I inspect your energy, I'm helping you discover, are there areas where, oh, I didn't even realize that that's causing a drain on my energy, or that's creating some, like, I have damage from, you know, ABC from the past. I still feel what I feel when I think about it, which is why I don't think about it. Those are areas that start to deteriorate your energy and you feeling the way that we've talked about. Why is it important for you to feel that way? Because you have magnificent things that you want to do. You have beautiful things you want to share with the world. We need you in your finest hour, in your finest power, right? We need you in shining in your strongest energy. So I help you discover, I didn't know, like, what, you know, those energy issues that you may not be aware of. So, of course, if you like these things, you can always keep in mind that there's an opportunity for you to learn more about that and working with me for your energy so that we can help you raise the roof, rise up. All right. Most of you know me already, but this is, well, everybody on here knows me already, but if someone's watching the replay, my story is probably not very different from any of you. I stumbled through my early, you know, childhood. I was labeled as shy. I was an introvert, didn't know that. I was told, I'm like, no, because I do love people and I love animals and I love being out. I love it, excitement, right? There's certain things that I love because they make me feel really good inside. And yet there's certain groups and things where I would just get really freaked out. I would kind of shrink down, right? So, oops, hang on, sorry. Okay, sorry. All right, so again, my story's not any different than anyone, and I also had I did have energy damage. I mean, not to give you like the, you know, gory list, but yeah, I was bullied. I was sexually abused. I was raised by a mother who now I know, right, as you've heard me talk about maybe many times, that she had personality disorders. I didn't know any of those things. I didn't know anything about a highly sensitive person. I didn't know what an empath was. I had no clue. So I stumbled through my life and I figured it out. I put the pieces together, things that made sense to me, that felt good. I trusted in those. I started to take those steps. I started to listen because I didn't like feeling shut down, weird, like an outcast. Then, the more that I stepped into this path, that's why this community is here. I kind of got sick of trying to fit into everybody else's whatever. So created our community, invited all of you here. You feel like you're weird, you feel like you don't fit in, people don't understand you, they tell you you're too sensitive. Man, I threw that line out there and it was like the floodgates opened and so many of you came into the community. Wow, this is different. I love feeling this way. The rest of my story, I mean, I'm quirky. I forgot to turn off my phone. I love unicorns, fairies, right? I use colored pens, paper clips, anything that has color to it. All of those things, that's who makes me who I am, right? And we connect on, I've been laughing this week because I have posts that include things about gel pens, and it's like going crazy. I love gel pens. I have gel pens. Okay, it's a silly thing, but it's something that we share, right? We connect on that level. And that other story about the t-shirt I was wearing, when it comes to sensitives, we're just drawn to connection. It doesn't matter about what it is. If it's the same, we don't have to explain like, well, this is why I really like gel pen. We just get it, right? Oh, me too. Wow, you do, I do. We get all kind of geeked like that. That's really, my story. My other part of my story, which I find very common, is that, I went to the same dentist for 34 years till he retired. I went to the same hairstyles. It was 14 years. You already know the hair story if you watched the live from Monday. My point of that is I am mega loyal, right? Sensitives are very loyal. We don't want to walk away. We want that bond. We want that connection. We want to feel like we belong. And in this community, you do belong, and you're encouraged. Please, by all means, be 100% you. You don't have to, there's no aspect of you that you have to hide or feel that they're not going to get me, because as you know, you step out here and everyone goes, oh, I love that. Oh, that's great. Me too, right? We just have that. That's just our community. That's the way that, and I love it. I watch, tomorrow night we have the meetup with paint and wine, and we'll all get together, and you would think that everybody's been friends for years, like the TV show, but better. And that's the thing I love about being a sensitive. I love being in my power as well, because it allows me to meet people who are like me. When I used to hide who I was because I thought I was weird, I thought I was too sensitive, I thought I was too emotional, I took things too personal, whatever else I was told, I didn't step out as the real me. I tried to just, oh, they seem nice, or, oh, they seem successful, or, right? And that's not really where connection happens. Hoping that you can make it click. Instead, when I just started to be me, right? We joke around, my ears are ringing, thank you guys. When we joke around about you be you, that's how you really meet true friends, which is another part of what's missing for a lot of sensitives, is feeling understood, having real friends, having people that really get you. Well, in our community, we don't have to worry about that, because that just seems to happen very naturally, right? Birds of a feather and all that good stuff. So great. So I'm quirky, I'm fluffy, I'm loyal, but I am also damn determined to bring a message to you that is loud and clear, in your face, that calls you out of your comfort zone, because I know what you can do for this world. And again, I'm not saying that I'm setting the expectation that you should have this big booming empire business, or I'm just saying, if you're hiding, if you're playing in the shadows, if you're like, oh, I'll stick my toe out a little bit and then I'll pull back again, and you're retracting, you're retreating, you're contracting, you're doing any of those things, I know that you're not fulfilled. I know that you're not happy, and I know that life is harder than it should be. So I am here, and I am just as determined to bring this message to you that these things I'm going to touch on right now, are definitely things that can create a feeling of, I don't have what it takes. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I don't know enough. I don't have the right resources. I don't know the right people. That's keeping you really small, and that's not fair to you. And it's actually, I really believe for sensitives, it is really unfair of you to keep your gifts from the world. You are so gifted. You are so amazing. What you can do for people who are around you, again, whether you do step into a leader role like I've done, or you do something in your own way, to keep that from other people, when we have the gifts, the ability, and the power, and the passion, and the heart to make a difference, to make this world a better place, I think that's kind of almost selfish, and that's not our nature. It's not because we're selfish. That's not why I stayed in the shadows. I didn't think I was good enough. I had a lot of belief shit going on, right? So I did the work because it wouldn't stop. That feeling, that calling, that wanting to make it better for at least someone. I wanted to take that mega levels, okay? So what to stop doing that can make you feel weak? These are things that, again, as you're listening, if it resonates, oh, whoop, yep, that's me. Just write it down. This isn't about, oh shit, I have that one, that's me. This is about, I'm creating awareness so I can change this, okay? One of them is really focusing out there. Yes, that's where life happens, out there. I mean, life happens in here, but storms, fires, politics, a lot of that is going on out there, right? Hi, Jen. So there's truth to that. There's stuff out there that's going on. But if all we do is focus out there, like, oh my God, did you see what he's doing? And now the fires are going on, and that's your whole, it's all outside of you. I always talk about living inside out. First, when I'm very present, I feel my body. I'm very aware of how my physiology is changing. I can feel when I get stressed. I can feel if I get tense, right? I'm holding my breath. I'm sitting like this. I'm driving, white knuckles, all of those things. There's some other focus going on than you being present in your body, because none of us like feeling that way. So if you're finding that your thoughts are consumed by that, your conversations are consumed about what's going on out there, did you see that? Did you see what happened about that? Did you see what they were doing? Did you see what they weren't doing? Did you see what he said? Right? Lots of stuff about what Trump said, didn't do, whatever. It's all going to happen regardless. It's okay to be aware, it's okay to be informed, but let's not be inundated with all of it, where that's just your entire existence is maybe the social media feed, or, I mean, that's always suggested to, I think most sensitives by now have kind of weeded out the people in their feed, but the arguments, the debating. Look, if you have a strong stand on something and you feel that you need to get it out and you want to say it, that's your right. That's part of living, and that's our right to do that. But getting involved because you kind of got sucked into it, or you got drawn into it, or someone made a remark and now you feel like, oh, I kind of have to respond. Actually, no, you don't. You don't have to do anything you want to do, right? So let's just not always focus just out there. We can observe out there, right? I can observe what's going on in the world, and I'll get to why it's important to, I mean, I kind of touched on it in the beginning already, but it is important for us to stay in our energy and stay in our power, because that's the only way we can make a difference. If I'm just consumed by all of that, and it will drain you, it's a fact. I can't possibly watch hours of floods in some part of this country where, people are like stranded and not be affected by that. We are deeply affected. We can't even watch a movie without being affected by it. How are we gonna watch real life on things like that? So don't watch things like that for hours at a time. Notice your energy as you're doing things. Notice your energy as you're listening to the news, the radio, as you're watching things about what's going on in the world, as you're skimming through Facebook or any groups that you're in, you always want to tune in to what your body's telling you. If you start getting anxious, cut it off, walk away, go do something positive. If you feel weighed down, heavy, you're getting real emotional, you're taking in all that energy. It's coming right into you. We can be informed. We don't want to be out there. We want to be really present and notice what we're noticing within our body. People will say to me, that's interesting. I never thought about that, to notice what I notice. Yeah, it's true. Like, we notice stuff. Oh, I'm really stressed. I noticed I was stressed, and I was doing this weird thing that was kind of working myself up, right? I wasn't making any changes, or I started to notice what I noticed when I'm with a certain person, right? So we don't want to be out there. We want to bring it in. I already said it, but I'll say it again. Talking about all the bad things all the time. I'm in different groups. I'm in different circles of people. And I listen to conversations. I'm on conference calls with different people, both for job and my business, not meaning conference calls with my clients, but group call. I'm on all different things. And I listen to what comes out of people's mouths, and I think, and you wonder why your energy is for shit. It is like, couldn't be more obvious. Right? We got to listen to what is coming out of your mouth. What conversations are you engaging in? What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying out loud about how you feel, or what's in your day? Or do you ever ask somebody, hey, how are you? And they just dump a bunch of shit out on, and you're like, wow, okay, right? Or did you ever have someone say to you, well, I don't mean to, be negative or dump this on you, but then they do anyway. Right? And they just unload. I'm not saying we shouldn't have, it's normal to vent. Many sensitives, that's why when I do a session, by the end they go, oh, I feel so much lighter. It's not just that we've changed perspectives or beliefs or done energy work like that, but when you keep all that stuff cramped in, yeah, it's exhausting. So it feels good sometimes to get it out. But if all of your conversations are revolving around all this stuff that's bad, that's wrong, that's not going right, either for you or a lot of people too, they like to, not here, but a lot of people, they like to share stories about their brother and his bad marriage, or how their neighbor's wife did this bad thing, or, really? There's so many beautiful things to talk about in the world, and that's what you want, right? People sit down for, sometimes I've in the past, I've gone for coffee with different people and networking and whatever, and about 2.2 seconds in, I'm like, this will be a short little chitty chat. And I can't bring them out of it. Like, they're sort of like that train that's not stopping. No interest. I'm like, all right, well, it was so great, wrapping up, and we won't be doing that again. No, I don't say that, but I will give it an attempt, right? Of what, well, tell me, what are some things that are going really good in your business, something like that, right? So we have to notice what's coming out of our mouth, what is being said to us in conversations, and sure that if there is someone in your world that that, oh yeah, every time I talk to them, I feel like I got wrecked. I feel like I just got rolled over by the energy bulldozer or whatever, right? You may have someone like that. Those are things to be aware of. Blaming your energy on something you have no control of is about, to me, you're just like, I'm such a victim. I have absolutely no control. I'm going to just be demolished at any old time because there's something. Now, I'll give an example. Okay, there's a lot of discussions when the moon goes through different cycles. There is truth to being affected by the moon energy, but to act like I have no control. Because it's almost like a crutch to not be, I'm aware of it. And so the more, again, this is studying you, studying your energy. It's truth. Some people are more affected by, when it's full moon time, I tend to sleep really weird. I have very vivid dreams. I can lay in bed and be like, okay, hey, I feel like it's 6 o'clock at night and I am not tired, right? So I'll just do some relaxation things. I'll go to sleep. Where new moon, I sleep amazing and I have all these, right? So there's truth to the things, but using it as your, like an excuse, it's not my fault, it's the moon. See, it's the way we say it. Like, oh yeah, I have some energy with the moon and we got some things going on, right? So I plan sort of accordingly, because the other weird thing is I can wake up with very little sleep during the new moon and be ready for the day. I mean, I might not be able to fall asleep till 10:30, 11, 12, and I can wake up at like 4 and be like, okay, good, it's a fresh day. So I just roll with it. During a new moon, not so much. It's different. My pattern is different. I want you to study your pattern. I want you to learn and understand, yeah, it might be from something like that, right? But not that I'm helpless, I have no power, I can't do anything about it. It's that, it's not me. I don't want you to feel like, oh, here I go. It's that new cycle of the moon. Anything could happen. I just want you to always feel like, here's how I feel, here's what I can do about it. Here's how I want to feel, here's a change I can make. Here's how I can roll with the energy, or here's how I can adapt to the end, right? We're always working with our energy. An athlete cannot always predict how something's going to go down on the field, but they train, right? My son right now, he's got videos up every day on Instagram. He's studying to be a personal trainer. He's doing all his workouts, and he's training to enhance his agility, right? To increase his speed. That's what this work is, people. We are training to enhance our agility, become more bendable, right? Because when you can't bend, you break. I don't want you to break. I was thinking, I don't know why, but I was thinking about a Super Bowl earlier while I was driving him his Buttercup. I loved Super Bowls when I was a kid. I don't know, maybe there'll be a post about it. I'm not really sure. But I was thinking about a Super Bowl. No matter how hard you slam that ball, man, the harder it slams, the higher it goes. Like that used to be the goal, right? One of us would get way on one end, and we would throw that Super Bowl and see how many times we could get it to each other in one bounce if we went the full distance. You can't do that with a stick. It doesn't just, right? Or if I try to bounce a stick, I don't know, I might smash. I'm not really sure. But, you know, the thing is, the more that you work with your energy, the more resilient you get, the faster you bounce back, the more bendable and flexible you are, right? Like, I don't know, like flubber, like flubber. No, you know, you get a lot more flow than when you become very rigid, very trapped, very stuck. That is where you feel like you're going to break. Okay, that's when bad things go. All right, so I kind of touched on this, Ray, but it's worth saying again, making excuses for feeling crappy. Oh, well, I feel crappy because my neighbor was cutting his grass this morning at, you know, whatever, or I feel crappy because, I don't know, how about I think that I'd feel better if I did this. I'd rather we put the positive spin on it instead of labeling and laying it out there that we feel crappy. It's okay to honor how you feel. Hey, I kind of noticed not feeling myself. I feel a little weird. I feel a little tired. I feel a little run down. You can honor it. You can acknowledge it. Now what are you going to do about it? I think tonight it'd be good for me to go to bed a little earlier. Or, wow, I kind of just noticed I have this headache. Gosh, I haven't had water for hours. I think I'm going to have a drink of water. Maybe I'm dehydrated, which I think I'm getting right now. So the difference is acknowledge how you feel, then adjust. Bring yourself back into power. It's not just because of this or that and you're stuck with how you feel. That will make you feel small. That will make you feel trapped. If I say, though, that really annoyed me, I think I need to go for a walk. That really frustrates me. I think I need to journal about it. There's so many different ways to work through the energy, but what I want you to do, bring presence to it, now do something about it. That's the power. Bringing presence to it as if it's out of your control and you have no power creates you as a victim. Nobody, not one person loves, I hope not. I used to wonder about my mom, but feeling like a victim that's not a life. It's really not. That's a prison sentence to me. But not honoring your feelings, that's how that works, right? So it's not my fault. There's nothing I can do about it. Or not honoring your feelings is trying to just suck it up and do it anyway. I'm fine. I'm fine. No, I'm fine. No, I don't need anything. No, I'm good. No, I'm fine. And inside you're like, I'm dying inside. Or someone offers you, have you ever found, there's something that I've noticed, someone will offer me something for free. Can I get you a coffee? Can I get you water? No, can I get you? And you're like, no, I'm fine. Like you just turn abundance away. Maybe you're not thirsty, that's true. But if someone offers you something, it's okay to say, I remember one time I was at an event as a vendor and they served lunch and she said, oh, there's free lunch in there. Did you want some? And it just came, I was like, no. One, I didn't want to walk in, this was years ago, I didn't want to walk in the kitchen by all the people. I didn't want to sit and then eat in front of people. This is who I used to be. Now I'm like, food? You got food? I'm in. Like, let me get that free book, right? Because it's a gift of, you put energy out to the world all the time. You're doing nice things all the time. So I actually, on a little total unrelated but side note, start to notice things that you start bringing in, like just because. You go to the store and they go, oh, did you have any coupons? No. That's all right, I'll give you 25% off. That happens to me all the time. Thank you. We had pizza the other night because we love pizza. And the guy said, are you going to have any coupons? And I said, oh, man. And I did. I forgot. I always forget them. We put them in the same drawer because I take the drawer with me. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I said, no, I forgot. I left it at home in the drawer. He goes, that's all right. I'll give you 10% off. That stuff happens to me all the time. Or sometimes I go to Starbucks and I'm waiting to order and they go, does anybody want a da-da-da? It was a misorder. I just made it and nobody says anything. I'm like, sure, that's a free coffee. And at Starbucks, that's like $10. Right? So just kind of notice those things because all of that also expands. It makes you step out of your comfort zone. And we're here to receive fun things. All right, so that's kind of a side note. All right, overextending yourself. All right, come on, hand raised. Anybody ever done that? Sure, I can do that. Let me help you with that. Oh, I'll do it. No, I'll take care of it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, and inside you're like, how am I going to do all this? Right? So what do? You skip sleep. You work an extra day during the week, or maybe you take a shift for somebody. Maybe you're doing more house chores than agreed upon. I just found this just happened yesterday. Ms. Buttercup had her little incident. We wanted to take her into a regular vet, and Eric doesn't have any work right now. He's off, and I'm here. I'm not off, right? I'm working my business, and I still work my full-time job. And they said, oh, well, we can get her in an hour. I said, oh. And I'm thinking in my head, and he's standing right next to me. I'm thinking in my head, how am I going to, so much stuff to do for my job. And then, I'm really, and then drive time, that's like an hour. And he said, well, I can take her. No, that's all right. What? Like he said, I can take her. I'm here. I don't have anything. And no, can you? You can take her? Sure. Right? We just throw ourselves right in. No, I'll do everything. Let me just do everything. I think at some point in my life too, that there was something about, he would say, wow, you're like a superwoman. You're like a supermom. That's not why I do everything. It's like our nature. It's just, yes. So, overextending yourself means filling your calendar. And if you look at the events on your calendar in your life, the things you take care of, right, during your week, are they related to, like, I have a very full life right now, but I also have a very huge mission. And those activities are directly related to me fulfilling my mission. That's my choice. I do fun things. I do other things because those are just as much part of my mission. Otherwise, I burn out. I'm going to overextend myself. I have to, the family time, the breaks, the meeting with, tomorrow is a meetup, but that's fun. I'm going to drink wine. I'm going to paint a picture, hopefully for my spot in my office right back there, because it's kind of a fall picture, right? So there's the activities that I'm doing and that are on my calendar now, but it used to look very different. But I still find myself in some of those habits of, no, that's fine, I'll do it. And then I'm driving out of my way to do something. I'm like, what am I doing? What, how did that come out of my mouth, right? So we all have that. But overextending yourself means also not listening to your energy needs. When I teach a workshop like this and I shut it down, right? I click and I leave, I can feel like how I'll actually have to take deep breaths. I can feel the pressure, and I just totally shut down on the couch. Not shut down like grumbly but it's quiet time. I mean, I've been like hands all over talking, and now it's, I have water, my snack. I'll usually have a good like snack after. Well, actually, I don't know why, but after this, I'm actually having cold pizza. But that's just because it's kind of a treat. But I will revive, right? I'll honor what I'm feeling. But when we overextend ourselves and we're not listening to our energy needs and we're going way beyond, that's where you have burnout. That's where you crash. That's where all of a sudden now life hits you in the face with something and you are down, man. You don't know what to do. You feel frazzled. You don't feel like yourself. The migraine hits, the fibromyalgia kicks in, right? Because we've been going on that high thing without taking those intervals, taking those breaks, honoring how we're feeling, and really also looking at, if my life is full, is it full of the things that are moving me in the direction I want to go, or is it just full of things? Right? I mean, if I go to the store, I don't need everything in the store. The store is full. I only need a few things to get what I need, right? Your life can be really full of things, but is it full of things that you really need, or is it just full of everything? Because that's not serving you, right? So those are things that I work with clients too. Wow, that is really, I had a client one time, she was on a committee for, God, it was like over 20, it was a long time she was on this committee, and the whole leadership had changed, and it became it was not very sensitive. it was, oh, that's okay, Pat laughed, shoot, I missed it. It was not very favorable for a sensitive, and she was finding she was getting like anxiety and tension and headaches before she'd have to go in. She felt really wrecked when she left because there was even some bullying kind of going on. And we talked about it, and she said, but I've been on there. We are very responsible. We're very loyal, right? So a lot of times too, it'll be, well, I don't know how to leave that. I don't know how to say no. I don't know. Those are things we look at and work on. Oh, hi. Wait, unmute.
Oh.
Hi.
Can you see us?
I can see you. Oh, look at Jen.
This is my grandson, Colton. She's saying hi to you.
Hi, buddy. We're good. We also have baby time. All right, where's Ryder? Is he sleeping too? Aw, Ryder. I see you, buddy. Is that Mickey Mouse?
He just said Cole. I'm like, yep, that's
Yep.
Cole. Yeah, buddy.
Aw, I love when we have little. See, this is good energy. They bring such good energy to us, our good guys.
Yes, you can see you.
Okay. So that kind of ties into and leads into ignoring your energy needs. It's when you become more resilient and you're really aware, like I can go a really long time without needing kind of a break, but I can feel it, like even my job. Okay, my job is all on a computer. It's not, well, I mean, mostly it's all on a computer, but I can feel when I'm working on certain activities for an amount of time where all of a sudden I'm starting to get almost anxious, and I have to switch my activities. I gotta put it down for a minute. I go and get a glass of water. I might, respond to some comments on Facebook. I gotta change it up. I cannot just, right? So, but sometimes we just don't listen to our energy needs. We just suck it up. Just go. Just get this done. Just keep going. Don't be, I mean, sometimes we've been taught that because we're sensitive, we're not strong enough, or, right? So I have a client too, she's got like a built-in drill sergeant, right? That, and keeps her going like that. And that's forcing. So we want to make sure that you're honoring your energy needs, not ignoring them. Also that you're not, without realizing it, treating yourself like a victim, that you don't have control, that it might seem that way. Circumstances might be what they are, and you can't necessarily immediately change something. We also have no control over what other people do. So that can make us feel like we're powerless. I can't change them. That's just the way they are. But what we're doing is we're really saying, I have no power within my life because they're the way they are. I just have to deal with it. I just have to accept it, when actually you don't. That tends to stem into and lead into bigger decisions and deeper conversations about what you really want for yourself, which is what we talked about in the very beginning, right? Getting that really clear vision about what kind of life you want to lead. Because if you say, I want this beautiful life with lots of connection and activity, and I'm doing all of these things, and then boom, there's this thing over here that you think you're stuck with, you're never going to get that if something is not in alignment with what you really want. So those are sometimes deeper conversations that we need to have, right? I think a big one too is thinking or feeling that you have to be perfect at this. So many times, and I have a post about it this week about I was doing really good, then I self-sabotage, or I hear all these little, my clients will title them, they'll give them like, this is what it is, right? But still you're kind of saying, so it's not me. I self-sabotage. Stop saying that. Just say, I realized that this is something that I've been doing that isn't really benefiting me at all, so I'm going to change that up, right? Just do that and then practice it. Don't feel like you have to be perfect at this just because you're creating awareness about something right now. Do not leave here and think, well, Nicole said that if I have awareness about it, I have the power to change it, but now look, I did it again. Oh, forgot. Sometimes we've been doing these things. I just told you about that thing with the vet and with Eric, and I was in the kitchen chuckling at myself like, you knucklehead, like, what'd you do? Just let him take her. And I was like, that feels great. He's taking her. I'm going to go do the work that I have to do, right? And be free and clear of that. There is no being perfect at this. This is a practice. This is improving who you are every day. If you find and recognize, oh, that's weird, I haven't done that in a long time, and I see that I'm doing that again, here's how I can change it up. Here's what I can do about that, because that puts you right back in control, puts you right back in your power, instead of feeling, oh, I did it again. What's the matter with me? Why do I do this to myself? Don't do that to yourself, right? We'll just not do that. So any questions or shares or anything, you guys don't have to wait, but before we go into, we're going to chat about ego for a few, and then really how to function without needing to go into some of those like bottom of the barrel energy issues. No, okay, just interrupt me if you do. All right, so let's chat about ego for a bit. Ego gets a really bad rap. I think that people are like, kick your ego to the curb, punch your ego in the face. That's not our style anyway. But I don't want to create separation from something that is part of me, because that really creates a lot of suffering. We have an ego for a reason. Ego can be there to protect you. Ego develops as we grew up, right? All these experiences, but unfortunately, kind of what the ego is a little bit misinformed. Okay, I find that the ego tends to only have part of the story, and it's using that part of the story to scare you back into your comfort zone, because it doesn't want you to get hurt again, be embarrassed again, be misled again, get lied to again. There's some sort of background to what it's telling you. So something comes up in your life that has a familiar feel or vibe to it, and your ego goes, oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that, because remember the last time you did that, remember when so-and-so said that to you and how you felt, right? It starts like spinning the story in your head a little bit, or it will like, oh, you don't want to do that. You know how many people fail? It'll give you all these weird but that's what it does. It spins a story, but it's only giving you part of the story. Okay, your intuition is telling you a yes or a no on something because it's going to help you expand. It's going to help you rise. Yeah, sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone to do that. I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now if I was able to stay in my comfort zone. I had to get out of my comfort zone. I had to work on myself. I had to risk people laughing at me. I was bullied in high school. The fact going in front of people and saying what I think, I was told that I didn't have the right to say what I think. I was followed from class to class through the hallways, called names. They waited for me outside of my classrooms. So the fact to go out on social media and say, I have an opinion about something, I have a vision, here's my mission, that took some freaking work, right? But I didn't want to live small because I know how I felt when I lived small. I don't want you to feel that way. So when the ego is doing its thing, just say, pal, hey friend, I get it, but here's the whole picture, right? Here's what I'm feeling about. Here's what my intuition's telling me. Here's my vision. My vision is this. It's big and it's bold and it's beautiful and it's amazing and I'm super happy in it. I'm really fulfilled. And I understand that in order to do that, to step into that life, I have to continue to expand. And that means I can't stay small. I can't stay in this little box with you. I can't stay here. I could, but I've tried that. And that's why I feel icky and crummy and that's not working for me anymore. So I get it. Thank you for looking out for me, but here's what we're going to do anyway. And pull that ego right in with you because ego and intuition are very different. Ego is always going to use something like fear or sometimes it almost is like, it can be kind of a bully. It can almost like slap you on the hand where you're like reaching for the cookie and then it smacks you, right? It's like that. Intuition's not like that. Your intuition is like, oh yeah, oh, that feels good. I don't know why, but that's something I want to do. Or intuition might feel like, you don't know about that, right? It's just sort of a pop of a feeling. It's a pop of a hit or a vibe or just the way that you read the situation. Ego gives you weird details, stuff that doesn't like add up really, and it kind of leads you to the worst point and then it just stops. There's no option from there. That's it. Like you're going to crumble, you're going to fail, somebody's going to laugh at you. There's always some ending like that to the ego's version of the story. So just recognize that and understand that that's not intuition. Your intuition is a pop. It's a hit. You just get it. You just feel it. You may feel a tightness in your stomach like a no, and you might feel like even butterflies in your stomach like a yes. It's important to learn how your intuition communicates with you, which is, of course, a lot of what we do in this community, right, is to trust yourself. You need to trust yourself. Don't trust your ego. Remember, it doesn't have all the facts, right? It's like somebody showing up trying to tell you something and they only got half the story and you're like, that. If you watch any TV show with like the, you know, detectives or whatever, they're always like, that doesn't make sense. Like there's some, you know, character that's like, that's not, no, there's more to the story, right? So we want to always make sure we get the rest of the story. So you can recognize when your ego's talking and go, oh, I see what's going on. I also, when my ego starts talking, it's typically, I am on the verge of a breakthrough. Like I'm like getting ready to have either an up level or I'm ready to have, something's gonna like break through and I'm gonna have, and that ego is like, whoa, pull it back, I gotta pull you back in. So if you notice it really kicking in a lot, I can promise you, because it's new level, new devil. Every time you up level, you're gonna have some new thing that comes in, pops up, whatever. And so I always look at it like, oh, my ego is kicking up a storm today. Must be something good coming my way. I'm ready. I'm going to do the extra energy work that I need, journaling, walking, exercising, getting out of my head, into my body, like all of those things. So that, and I will even literally say out loud, you can bring that all day long. I am not backing down. There's no fucking way. I didn't get this far to stop here when my vision is, right? Like, no. So bring it on, but let's do this thing. It's kind of like, you want to dance? I'm ready to dance. Let's do it. It's like that. Okay. How to keep functioning without needing a total energy overhaul. What is a total energy overhaul? That could mean, Kat says, I don't trust myself. So that, again, practice. Just practice. Just that no one knows what's best for you better than you do, because no one's living your life in your body, having your experiences through your, and the more that you become a witness to your life, the more that you observe, it gives you different perspective advantages, right? And I didn't used to trust myself at all, not at all. But I found that my head was full of a lot of other people's voices and opinions. I found that I was being pointed and directed in a lot of different directions by a lot of different people throughout my life, told not to be who I am, told that I wasn't good enough, right? There were a lot of things like that that created this image of myself that was completely inaccurate. When I started to trust myself is when my life improved. When I stopped listening to the noise out there is when my life started to turn around, right? So it's practice, just practice. I can trust myself more. I trust myself more every day, and just noticing what you notice, right? And making those adjustments on the things that we talked about. And it will improve. It will increase. You cannot possibly, like, if you want to, get more fit or have more muscle, like, this was flab a couple months ago. I couldn't do that. It was like flab. I can't possibly lift weights and not get stronger, right? You cannot possibly practice trusting yourself without getting better at it. So just know that the more I practice, the more I work that trust muscle, the stronger I get at it. It's guaranteed, absolutely guaranteed. There's just no way around it, right? And sometimes resistance can help you build that muscle. Just like when I'm working out, I use those resistance bands and I really strengthen. I get that good stretch. So it's okay when we have resistance in our life and it tests us a little bit and we decide to trust ourselves. And we go, oh, that is awesome. I trusted myself and look. Or, wow, I didn't trust myself and I was actually right. That's a learning lesson. I was right. Okay, so I didn't listen to myself, but I recognize that I felt it. I had it. I got it, man. I just have to let it flow through, right? I just have to continue to build that trust in myself. Okay, so a couple things to keep functioning. Oh, sorry. Oh, thought I said something. So to keep functioning at a high level without bottoming out on your energy is, one, ditch the guilt. That might be you take time for yourself. Great woman, recently I heard her on a call and she's, I took the weekend, it was so great, and I was so revived, so refreshed, so energized. And everyone's like, oh, that's great. And then a little while later, she started talking about how guilty she felt. Well, you basically just wiped everything you just did for yourself, you threw it out the window. Be good to yourself. You deserve it. And I'm not saying, self-care isn't like a fluffy word around here in our community. Self-care is imperative. It's what keeps you strong. It's what keeps you resilient. It's what helps you become more flexible with your energy so that you can expand and kind of go with the flow. And if life comes a little more hard sometimes, you can kind of woo, right? And bring yourself back. You're not going to snap. You're not going to break. You're not going to be destroyed by it. It's important. So if you're taking care of yourself, you don't have to feel guilty. You should feel proud of that. That should empower you. And let me tell you, if you have someone in your life who's making you feel guilty for taking care of yourself, you might want to take a step back with that and really assess, like, first of all, I don't need to accept that as truth, right? Whatever their understanding, that's theirs, not mine. But yeah, why wouldn't someone in my life want me to take better care of myself, if that's the case? Okay, not saying you have that, but just in case. Listen to your body. Your body's never going to lie to you. We are super feelers, people. We are the super feelers on the planet. Your body will never lie to you. If your body aches, pains, it hurts to the touch, it's tired, it's fatigued, it's hard to breathe, you feel heavy. Your body is your intuition's way of communicating your emotions to you. You have a physical component to every emotion that you have, right? Every emotion that you have has a physical component. If I feel angry, I get like this, and I want to like, and it's like this huge surge of energy. If I feel like really calm and chill, everything like goes at ease, right? If I get really giddy and I might start laughing, be really silly. We know that happens sometimes, right? I just can't stop laughing. Right? So we have all of these physical things to our emotions. that's like the system of intuition. It's not just some random like esoteric like no, you have emotions, you have an emotional guidance system, and every emotion is there for a reason. And we have a full gamut, right? We have a full scale. Some of them impact our physiology in a very good way, some impact in a not so it doesn't feel good, right? Sadly, some of them have been labeled as bad. There's no good or bad. They're all part of the system. We have this amazing system. So your intuition gives you, right, and emotions, and we have thoughts that trigger the emotions, and then the emotion gives you a physical feeling. So we have this beautiful body. Unfortunately, most sensitives are very either disconnected from their body, or they're carrying around so much pain and so much pressure that they don't know what the hell is. I mean, really, it just feels like, you know, damaged goods, but you're not. So I want you to really listen to your body, because that is where it's going to cue you in as to where you're at with energy, right? So it's not going to lie to you. Stay really present. I know sometimes it's not easy, right? But did you ever watch a really good movie and you're just like, oh, yeah, ooh, oh, right? And we go through this whole thing, and all of a sudden you're like, the movie's over? Oh, wow, that was a good story. Believe it or not, you're so in that activity that you weren't anywhere else, right? You were, yes, you're watching a movie, so you're right there, but even painting or whatever, an activity, coloring, right? We have some coloring fans. Doing things like that is also what helps you be in a present state. Being aware of your breathing, your body, how you feel in your body helps you stay present. That's what I mean about not living out there. Now, if I'm driving, I might be kind of out there, right? But that's more, my subconscious is actually driving the car probably. But being really present is what helps you adjust on the fly with your energy. When you're really thinking about something in the past, or you're really worried about something in the future, you are anything but present. And none of that actually, I mean, it doesn't really exist. It exists in a energetic form. But as for your physical body right now, you're creating experiences for yourself that may not be benefiting you, right? You're going back to whatever that was. They said, how could they, that happened, right? A lot of sensitives get caught up in that loop. Or, oh, what if I don't get that? What if it doesn't work? What if and then your energy gets all twisted up and in a bundle. Next thing you know, you're either anxious, or you're depressed, or you're sad, or you're not yourself, right? Something like that. So we want to make sure we stay present. Things like breath, touch, even just adjusting your hair. I feel, right? You can go through. I feel my body. I feel when I take a breath. That can bring you really present. I feel my heartbeat. Right? So we can do things to bring ourselves very present. I pick up this pen. It's a red pen. This red pen is in my hand. Believe it or not, that brings you more present right here than out there somewhere. Again, my favorite P word, practice, practice, practice. Just practice, not perfection. It's practice. Just practice being you, feeling better as you. Focus inside versus out there. So I'm going to do a little demonstration with a little meditation, okay? So I just want you to close your eyes and get comfy. And don't worry, we're on video, but whatever. Just relax, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. And when you exhale, also release your stomach muscles. So really just feel nice and really relaxed in your seat, whether you're on a couch or just feeling supported from underneath you, feeling your feet, maybe they're flat on the floor, or however you're sitting, just really kind of melt into, feel your body get very heavy, right? Just nice and heavy, but in a relaxed way, in a very safe way. And now as you take a nice deep breath and you exhale, what I really want you to do is bring your focus inside. your inner space. Notice what you notice on the inside. Notice what you feel on the inside. How do you feel in your body? How does your energy feel within you? Notice that you feel calm, you feel centered, you're present, right? You're safe, you're secure. This inner world is your private space. It's where everything happens for you first. Everything happens in this space first. This is the safest space you can ever go to throughout your life. So just really get in tune with how it feels on the inside. Really memorize your inner space. And as you get used to that inner space, now I'd like you to bring your attention and your focus to the sounds around you. The things that are outside of you. Feel the energy around you in the room. Maybe there's a vent blowing or a ticking, or maybe is there a TV or a radio that's on off in the background? Maybe someone's in the other room. But notice the noise and the air and the difference outside of you. Notice how you can even feel the air on your skin. Right? Notice that if you really focus, you can feel maybe the floor underneath your feet, or you can feel that chair or whatever you're sitting in. You can feel that connection, right, between your body and that chair or that seat. Now noticing how that feels outside of you, I want you to bring that focus and your attention back to the inside. All the way inside, where it feels safe, where you're connected, where it's all for you, all about you. And whatever you notice on the inside, some people even notice colors. They may see a pretty image. And as you sit inside in your quiet space, noticing how different it feels, how connected, how balanced and centered and wonderful it feels, notice that there's also a presence with you. As your higher self comes in to join you in this space. Now this may feel just a shift of energy. You may feel expanded. You may see a light. You may feel lighter on the inside. Notice what you feel as your higher self steps into this space with you. Memorize how this feels. Make this connection. This is the most important connection throughout your entire life. And if you feel like, I don't know if I have this connection, I don't know, just settle in. This is your safe space to invite your higher self in, to connect, and know that your higher self is there, okay? Whether you feel distracted or you can't quite get there, your higher self's always there for you. It's practicing going to that quiet place where it's just you in there, right? You and your higher self are making this connection. So just take another nice deep breath. Again, memorize how it feels to be in there. And know that what you feel and what's available for you is integrated. It's always there for you to step in, to bring your focus inward, that it's always safe on the inside because you're in charge, right? This is about you on the inside. And now taking another nice deep breath and releasing that breath, and you can start to bring your focus, whether you move your toes, move your fingers, your hands, feeling yourself more present in your body. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yeah. Colors in front of me to stay present while driving. Yeah. So, hi Nadine. See, there's a difference, right, between energy and noise out there and peace and energy in here. Yeah, so we have to get used to, and the more you practice with that, the more you spend even a few minutes going there, it will feel so welcoming and inviting that it'll be easy for you to get right in there. So if it felt like it took me a little bit, I was a little distracted or had this or that, the more practice you do, it's fun to go there. You're just like, shh, and you're right in there, right? So that's really the difference between out there and in here when I talk about that. Ideas, I need solutions, I'm not sure what to do with this, go in there and have that talk and listen, and the answers will be revealed. And so then you'll get to hear that. Okay, let's see here. So we're gonna kind of getting to wrapping this up, but I touched on this earlier, but it's really that the storms of life, whatever that is, whether that's Mother Nature, a family storm, a personal storm, whatever that looks like. Oh, I like that. Nadine says, I felt like feathers were touching my cheek and chin. Well, I would guess that they were then. So thank you for the angels for coming in and visiting with you. That's pretty sweet. But I will tell you that the storms of life are really harder to coast through if you haven't been taking care of yourself. If you've been laying on the guilt, or you've been putting everybody and everything else first, or you've just been ignoring your energy needs, or some of the things that I touched on tonight, it is much harder to process what's going on. It's harder to, like, we just don't have the same capacity as when you're taking care of yourself and you're really honoring your energy needs and you're honoring your feelings and you're being good to yourself. If you're in a pattern of being really hard on yourself, or being even cruel to yourself, or, you know, taking things out on yourself, that kind of thing, or I don't know, accepting somebody else, like anything like that, it's harder to process what's happening in the world. It's harder to process what to do in a situation. We're tapped out. You know, that's the truth. I mean, I can't fill a glass of water if the pitcher's empty, right? So we have to make sure that we're filling ourselves back up, because not just because, you know, the self-care and it's, you know, love yourself more, yes, but if you think in terms of energy and you're either full or you're empty, it becomes pretty crystal clear. I need to fill my energy back up, right? I need to, when I do this for myself, wow, I feel amazing. We had a member the other day, or I had a client reach out, and she took a beach day. She wasn't even there an hour. She's like, I feel completely full again. I can't even believe it. I haven't even been here an hour, right? These are important things. They're not just fluff. Beliefs. Certainly, we have to continue to work at our belief structure and our beliefs. If your beliefs are not supporting you, if your beliefs are very hard, very rigid, if they're mean, if they're, you know, they just talk you out of things that you really want because you don't deserve them. You know, we have to look at that belief structure. If you're trying to build an empire and your structure is weak, good luck. It's going to crumble, right? You are building your own kind of empire, whatever that looks like. That vision from the very beginning that we talked about. We have to make sure that your structure is strong. We have to make sure your foundation is strong, so that you can build upon that. You can add layers, and you can, you know, like decorate this part of your life the way that you want, and decorate this part the way that you want, right? And we can build it up as high as you want to go. But we have to make sure that that structure's there, and that's your belief system all the way. And guaranteed, we've all been taught some beliefs that are not supportive at all. They're weak. They're going to cause you to crumble, but that doesn't mean they're permanent, and that doesn't mean you cannot change them and add a different belief system in there. You can always rewire beliefs. It's amazing too when you start doing it, right? Not preparing. Can't prepare for everything in life, right? I used that example of Miss Buttercup on Sunday. I didn't know that was going to happen, but because I had been doing the work, right, I was able to, and not just the running to the car thing, but really the way I had my day planned, and I had things I did. So that was, when we're preparing, that means that we're doing the work on ourselves. We're adaptable. We become, again, flexible. We're not going to break. We're not going to snap. We're doing the work, right? What does that look like? It's maybe it's a little bit different for everyone, but maybe it's something like, boy, I've been skipping a lot of meals lately. I don't know why I'm so tired though, right? Or I just can't seem to lose this weight. Although now that I look at it, I don't ever move during the day. I'm not doing any movement, and then I feel really heavy too. Like I feel emotionally heavy, right? So there's things. So preparing means figuring out, what do I need to do? Getting a plan in place. Not a plan where it's so rigid but a plan is your structure as well. So having your plan, knowing where you're going. This is who I am. This is what I want. This is the direction I'm going in. If you go on a road trip, I sure hope you have a map, unless you're just like, I don't know, I'll just see where I end up. That's what we do in life sometimes. I'll just cross my fingers and hope I get what I want. Why am I not getting what I want? Why do I feel like I'm stuck in this place in my life? I don't have a plan, right? I'm not following my plan. So that comes in that lack of structure or direction. Too much structure for sensitives becomes too rigid, and we don't do well with that, like that forced structure. But having a plan, knowing what direction you're going in, and it's an inspiring direction, is very comforting for us, right? If you get up and you have a plan to your day, and you have your routine, and your day is full of things that you love and enjoy that are good for you, as well as some of the things that you have to do, you will have a much better experience than just a life of random whatever, hoping and wishing you get what you want, and your life is just full of crap that you don't even like and you feel like you have to do. That's a whole different experience. So we need to have that structure and direction. Not having the right tools. I mean, I like to make just about anything an energy tool. I don't want you to feel like I can only be healed if I work with a shaman. I can only, improve my life if I have Reiki. Are those things great as examples? Yes. But I don't want you to feel like you can't heal, move in the right direction, have a better life because you don't have access to A, B, or C. Anything in your life can be an energy tool. I've posted about it, but you can make Netflix an energy tool if you want. If you're using something in the right way and it puts a smile on your face, it creates more ease in your life, it lifts you higher, it releases pressure, it gives you a better perspective on life, it changes how you feel about yourself in a better way. But whatever it is counts as an energy tool. Okay, if I'm so thirsty I can hardly swallow and I get water, water is the energy tool. But so is maybe the kindness of whoever gave me the water, right? There's a lot of things. Everything's energy. So to me, anything that improves your energy is an energy tool. It's not just something that you need a master guru energy person to fix. You're the guru. Start looking at everything and you're like, oh, why do you think I use gel pens? Because they make me go, ee! And so I like them, right? So I use them. All right. Another big one I really feel is being unclear about who you are. If you feel, I'm not really sure, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know why I'm here, that can feel heavy, it can feel confusing. Just continue to sort through that. And really, I don't really find that most people don't know who they are. They do know deep down. To say it out loud or admit it to someone else, there's something around it that either intimidates them to say it out loud, they're afraid they're going to get laughed at, but if I really give someone a safe space, and I go, no, I just want you to say it. Whatever comes through, like, what are you about? What do you want? Who are you? If you could say it and it wasn't scary and it wasn't like you're not worried about what somebody else thinks, the answers usually come pretty like free flowing, just like about that big life that they want. Where before it seems silly because maybe I'm just, there I go again, or I was told by someone that you watch too many movies. Life isn't really like that. Want to bet? My life is. Sorry, yours isn't. Maybe you don't watch enough movies. I mean, I watch movies because I'm inspired by them, right? That's what I was told, that you can't have a relationship like that. That's not real. You watch too many movies. Huh. And yet I have one, like I used to see in the movie. You define who you are. You define what works for you. Know who you are. Admit it for yourself. If you first admit it in a journal where nobody can see it, great. If you want to admit it to someone and you don't know where to go, I'm here, right? It's when you feel unclear about who you are, it's easy to get pulled into bullshit. It's really easy to get pulled into other people's agendas. It's easy to get sucked into things you don't really have any interest in or want to do. You just think you have to, or you're obligated, or you're forced to stay, or there's a lot of things that play against who you really are. And you're the one that's going to pay the price, okay? Why you need to stay strong, we talked about that. There's a bigger vision. It's you having that fulfillment in your life, right? That living your passion, expressing who you are, being true to yourself. I've told my boys that no matter what you do, be true to yourself. You don't have to be true to me even. Don't live your life for me. I want you to be true to yourself because I'm going to support that. If I see you trying to do something to make me happy, that's not going to make me happy, right? So we want to be around people and be with people who really encourage you and support you to be true to yourself. Now, energy practices, things you can do, it's anything that changes your physiology to feel better. I mean, I already touched on that. It could be anything from drinking water, using gel pens, sitting up straight, taking a deep breath, closing your eyes for a few seconds. I could list off probably 1,000 of them. For you, it's taking a step back and saying, what makes me feel a little bit better right now? Is it this thought? Is it, if I'm blazing hot and I'm sitting in the sun, I would go in the shade. But sometimes in life, we don't step out of the heat to get, to kind of get our bearings a little bit. So anything that eases your body and takes the pressure away, that's an energy practice. I prefer the things I can do like that, on the fly, on the spot. Are there other things, like you can't always maybe do a 20-minute guided meditation, but I could close my eyes for a minute or two in the car before I go into a meeting or before I go into work, or right, and kind of recenter and regroup myself, things like that. So with that, I propose to you a question of what is it that you really want, right? What do you want your life to look like? How do you want to feel in your life? And if you get that really chiseled out, right? And I hope it always expands. I hope it's always changing and growing and evolving what you want for yourself. I hope it always, like, oh, I'm going to add this. I'm going to improve this, which reminds me to work on some of my homework too, right? What's 100 things I would do in my life if I was at the level that I want? I'm going to start doing those now. Why wait? Because that's what moves me to the next level. When you get really clear, so what is it that you really want? And decide that it's possible. Just decide, this is possible. What I want is possible. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't see all the pieces yet. I might not have all the resources. But if I can think it, if Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can believe it, man, you can make it, you can achieve it. That's part of the equation, okay? It would be really unfair for you to dream and think big and do all that and not be able to have it. Are there things that we talked about that could keep that from you, that could create that separation? Yes, but that's what we're doing here. We're closing the gap, right? We're closing the gap to bring it in. And so when you decide that, and maybe it's travel, maybe it's meeting new friends, maybe it's meeting a significant other, maybe it's starting a business, maybe it's expanding your business, right? Maybe it's seeing your family more often. I'm going to Colorado in a few weeks because why wait? I'm going to spend the money, so I might as well, right? I want to see my son. And I can't wait to hang out with him and his best friend and the dogs, and right? I want that. My coach said, then why aren't you doing it? Why aren't I doing it? Because I was telling myself I couldn't. I was telling myself I was too busy. I was telling myself that someday I was going to. And then I just decided, Now is someday. Buy the ticket. So I did. Right? I split it up. I bought one ticket and then I bought the next ticket. What is it for you? What is it that you want? And if you decide like my energy is just, I get it, it makes sense, but I'm not quite there, or like I said, don't wait, because the other thing, when people have the energy overhaul thing, I have a client that came to me and she developed boils. Her nerves are so frazzled that she's having this break, her skin, her nervous system, right? It's not working. So it's realizing that what you want is available, and if you need that additional support, and you watch this workshop, because nobody else will know about it except for you if you've watched the workshop, right? But if you want to learn more, you want to look at, and I say Energy 911 because I have 2 openings for that program right now. It's a 7-week program where you work with me weekly. We go through every chakra. The first session, I'm reading energy, I'm assessing each thing, we're going through the process, and then you really work level by level through each week. And it's a 7-week program. And because you're watching the workshop, and you get worksheets, and so you work at that, you get a guided meditation. Again, for each level, we want to actually go through and assess, rebuild, revive, and strengthen at every level, right? Looking at, because each chakra, as you know from our previous workshops, or if you've studied them at all, they do have an impact, your energy. And I'm just looking at those 7 main ones. We're going level by level. We're looking at creating that own sense of security for yourself, taking that fear away, right? Looking at how you're showing up in life, how are you expressing yourself, getting into that creative zone, your personal power, we need to make sure that's there, and going on and on, all the way up the levels, because we are a giant energy, you're like a giant energy filter, right? I love repairing energy. It's so fun. Sometimes that takes us into deeper work, but for Energy 911, if that program is of interest to you, and it's, like I said, it's 7 weeks, but actually as a bonus for being in the workshop, I'm making it an 8-week program with a follow-up reading at the end as well. So we do the assessment in the beginning, and we do the weeks in between, and then we do a follow-up session. So we're going to do a follow-up reading just to make sure. So you get a total of 8 weeks of intensive care with me, 8 weeks instead of 7 plus. I'm also taking $100 off the program, so kind of you're getting like over $200 as a bonus, right? Just because I want your energy to be right. So anyway, if that is of interest, then just reach out to me personally and we can chat about it. And if it turns out that's not the best program or the best fit, I want you to be in the best fit and the best program and the best timing. So that may not be. But so if you're watching the workshop, you'll know that instead of 7 weeks, you get 8 weeks plus an extra $100 off the program. And we'll go through and do all of that. All right. Now, comments, questions, ahas, thoughts, realizations. What did you notice about what you noticed as we went through the program? And feel free to share. Oopsie. I'm going to unmute anyone that's muted. You're all unmuted. There you go. So anyway, just if anything comes through or anyone wants to share anything or what you experienced, even the guided meditation. Open floor, open mic.
During the guided meditation, I was distracted by the puppy. He woke up and then he started chewing on wood. So I'm like, oh crap. So I had to remove him. So I wasn't able to get deep into it like I normally do.
It was a great example though of an outside thing that was distracting.
Yeah.
And some things are a little more urgent, chewing on wood. At the tables, at the door, what is he eating? Yeah. He was happy and fine with it.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. Yeah, so kind of a funny, not funny example of distractions.
Mhm.
Awesome. All right, my friends, any other thoughts, questions, anything I can help you with on any of the things we covered? Or another question or something that you have before we depart? I can tell I'm always starting to lose my voice a little bit by this point. Oh. All right then. Thank you
I
for
was just going to
joining
say
us.
I jumped on late. That was what I heard was great. So I'll have to go back and hear the replay, but that was awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes, I will be, I'll post it in it'll process and do all of its fancy stuff. And then I'll post it in the group for everyone. So I'm glad you could make it though for a bit.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. All right, my friends. It was so nice spending an extra evening with you all.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you, ladies. Talk to you soon, okay?
Bye.
Bye.
Night.